Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Connecting with Kim. I'm your host, Kim Droege. We are so glad you joined us today on Tampa Bay Arts and Education Network. You can catch the audio of our show on Sun Radio, 96.3 FM in Sun City Center, and on your favorite streaming platform. So I also want to give a shout out to my sponsor, the Spring of Tampa Bay, who provides my on-air wardrobe from the Spring Boutique located at the corner of Swann and Henderson in Tampa. The proceeds from the Spring Boutique and the thrift store on North Willow support the mission of the Spring of Tampa Bay, which is to provide sanctuary and services to survivors of domestic violence and their children. So I want you to go and shop and support them because they do great work, and they've been doing it for a long time, and they do it better than anybody else. So thank you for that. I am so excited because here in our little corner of paradise, we have a legend, and he's on my show today. And I am so happy to introduce this guest to you. His name is Mr. Tony Saladino, and I want to welcome you to Connecting with Kim. Tony, I'm so thrilled that you're here.
Glad to be here.
Tony, as he's going to share with you, is an educator, a coach, a super, and when I say super baseball fan, I mean that in every sense of the word, and a legend in Tampa and the surrounding area, Hillsborough County. So it's just a thrill to have you. I know everybody at TBAE just couldn't wait to have you on the show. They were so excited.
Thank you, and thanks for the welcome.
You got to look a little happier.
I'm very happy.
So, I can't imagine who it is, but there may be people out there who still don't know who you are. So let's take a few minutes at the top of the show to talk about your life journey because it's a very interesting one. And we'll just kind of go from there. I'll just ask you questions. How's that sound?
Good.
Okay.
I was born in Ybor City, an only child, and I lived in Ybor City until high school days. College days, I went to University of Tampa. I lost my dad at 46 years, and I dedicated my life at that time to service to mankind. And I met my wife-to-be shortly after that, and she made it all possible. So I played a little high school ball, semi-pro ball. I loved the game because a small man can play the game, and I just fell in love with it at the time and never lost that love. So eventually we had a high school tournament, my wife's idea. I was grieving badly when my father passed away, so she said, let's do something to memorialize him. So the tournament was born. The tournament is now 42 years old.
Oh my gosh, isn't that wonderful?
And my son has taken over. I'm in the Sunset America stage now, where I take it easy and show up, and he's doing a great job. And we've had a lot of thrills, a lot of memories. We involved the community, national anthem, ceremonial first pitches. It was a good run. Things have changed a little bit because COVID started it, and then we started with 11 high schools. We're up to 28 now.
In the tournament?
In the tournament.
And the tournament is usually spring break week, right?
Spring break week. We don't take them out of school. We don't charge any entry fee for these teams.
Wow.
55 players that played in the tournament have gone on to play in the major leagues.
55? That's
55.
Amazing. I mean, it's hard to get into the major leagues.
Very,
in any sport.
Very. We drew scouts from every team and colleges all over the country, largely because my wife did the hospitality and they came to eat, these major league scouts. But COVID stopped us 1 year, and then that kind of revamped the whole tournament.
Yeah. Well, there's kind of our world before COVID and then our world after COVID.
Correct.
And and nothing will ever be the same as it was before COVID. It might be better, it might be different, but it won't be the same.
Well, we have many pleasant memories because of the tournament. We had a staff of people that were just dedicated to us and the kids, and that worked wonders. So we're looking at 42 years now coming up My son is doing it all, the bracketing, the selection of sites. When we started with 11 schools, we were at one site. Now we're at 6 different sites.
Oh, yeah, it has really grown.
So we're spread out pretty much all over now.
So let me understand how the tournament works. So it's different teams from different schools playing each other, and the whole idea is to get down to the winning team, correct?
Now we have like 3 tournaments at one time,
Okay.
division-wise.
Ah,
Gold division, silver, and bronze.
okay.
The gold division is the better teams and so on.
So you rank. So not only are the teams bracketed, but they're ranked.
They are ranked by
Okay.
the state. We don't rank them. The
Right.
state ranks them.
Right.
We are approved by the school board,
Mm-hmm.
high school principals, and the state, Florida High School State. So once we get the okay from what they're doing, then my son will take over and bracket the teams, where they play, when. We have law enforcement at every site, and it's a beautiful thing.
It is, and you know. So I'm sitting here thinking to myself, okay, if I'm on spring break from high school and I'm a baseball player, why do I want to play in this tournament? What's my motivation?
Well, our basic thing is to keep them home and safe during the spring break when so many crazy things are going on.
Okay.
However, we contact all the major league teams' scouting division to come and give them a schedule for our tournament. And we always have every team represented, sometimes 2 or 3 deep, and college coaches from all over the country show up. And it's just been a fun thing to see that. And we used to have trailers rented for different purposes, an office, hospitality, stove, refrigerator, freezer. Things have changed now. We get prepared food in for the scouts and media and so on, but we had a game room for tots, supervised by a school teacher. Everything baseball, cartoons, coloring contests. Then we had a teenage trailer where they played video games and stuff. And a room for the Major League Scouts where they could eat and be private. And all those things are all gone now. It's a different setup and situation.
Well, things always evolve over time. I mean, nothing ever stays the same. And as you grow and get bigger, you have to have a different kind of setup.
And the bottom line is that the boys get to play baseball.
And they get to play it in
What
front of...
we did in our day was the umpires controlled the game between the foul lines. Me and my family took care of everything outside the foul line. All the entertainment, trivia on the PA system, different things like that to keep everybody involved. And it's worked wonders.
And what was the first year of the tournament?
We started in 1981.
1981. Now, were you still teaching at that time? Were you
Yes.
still in the school system?
Yes.
Okay, so you should share with people where you started your teaching career.
I started my teaching career at Forest Hills Elementary School. My first work day was August 18th, 1958, just out of college. Ended up with 57 years as a phys ed teacher. Loved every minute of it. I retired in 2015 to be home with my wife at the time, whose health was failing. So
Yeah.
it was quality time we spent together, and I'm glad I did it. And that's when I passed the torch and baton over to my son. And I show up and support whatever way I can, but he's doing it all now.
Right. Well, and your wife Bertha, she has been a tremendous. I know from just talking to you myself, because we're actually friends outside of the show. But you don't let someone of this stature not come and share their story with everyone. She was a tremendous help to you all the time. I mean, she was right in there with you all the time.
She was my biggest inspiration and support throughout our 52 years of marriage. I have not missed 1 week of going to the cemetery. I go to church first and then the cemetery, and I feel like a new man when I come out. But she made everything possible for me. And she was very, very instrumental in she's the one that started the tournament. Let's memorialize your dad.
Yeah.
And it worked out. And everybody knew her, loved her, and she supported the boys 100% to play baseball.
Yeah. I'm so sorry that I did not have a chance to meet this remarkable woman, because I know she must have been remarkable.
It was pretty rough when she passed away that I was receiving mail from people I didn't know.
Wow.
Handwritten letters. Everything was a tearjerker in those days. And
well, she touched the lives of a lot of people.
Rightfully so, she did.
So you ended up, so you started your teaching career. Now, where did you end up? Tell me all the different schools that you taught
I started at Forest Hills Elementary School, and then I transferred to Seffner Elementary School. And I was there a few years, and then I went to Valrico Elementary, and that's where I retired from there. I had retired twice. Retired once before, and then they called me to come back, and I did go back.
Were you glad you did that?
Oh yeah, I loved my career very much. I loved kids. Still do.
I know.
So my slogan lately has been that I'm slowing down, but I'm not stopping.
No, of course not. You're still moving.
I've had a lot of setbacks health-wise, and this keeps me coming back. I know my limitations in life now, but I don't stop.
No.
I have a grandson playing at the University of Tampa. That keeps me going. We travel all over the state, and it's fun. It's no responsibilities. I go sit in the bleachers and watch him play ball, and it's a thrill.
Yeah, yeah.
A thrill that I'm here long enough to see that.
Yeah.
So it's been a pleasure, a good run. I still get involved. Once in a while I get called to do a little trivia with either old-timers or teenagers, and I'm still involved on a limited scale.
Well, I know I've had the pleasure of being at your home, and I'm going to have to, I've got pictures of it, so I'm going to give it to Alex so he can include it in our interview. Because, seriously, folks, from the minute you pull up, it's all about baseball. And the minute you go inside, I have never seen so much baseball memorabilia in my entire life. I mean, you are just, it's amazing.
And ladybugs.
And ladybugs, yeah.
That was my wife's favorite.
I know, Bertha liked the ladybugs.
Yeah, so I do. And what I like to do is pass on to kids today what I went through before Little League days. It was playground, recreation, had a blast. No uniforms, nobody comes to see the games, but we had a lot of fun. Recreation baseball. And then I was lucky enough to play high school baseball, and one of my teammates became the governor of Florida. That was thrilling.
Yeah, we should mention his name because a lot of people know him, Bob Martinez.
Bob Martinez is my buddy, and we still go out for lunch occasionally, and he and Mary Jane have been great friends through the years.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a good guy.
But I try to relate to kids that the memories you make while you're playing ball are lifetime memories. You just got to make friends forever. It's more than just playing baseball. Even opposition you meet. It's a great thrill in the baseball world.
Well, and you're learning life lessons, right?
Yes.
You're learning life lessons playing baseball that is going to carry you through your entire life, right?
It is.
Valuable things that you learn about team and helping your teammates out when somebody's not maybe at their best, and pulling together and motivating each other and working towards a common goal. These are all things that when you go out in the working world, you have to be able to do those things.
Yeah. At my stage of life right now, I'm living on my memories. My wife's memories, the cruises we took, trips, grandkids, and the high school games and college and semi-pro. It's a memory lane all the way.
But they're wonderful memories, so there's nothing
Great
wrong with
memories.
that, right?
No, nothing wrong at all.
No. So if you're just joining us now and connecting with Kim, my guest in the chair is the legendary Tony Saladino, and I'm just thrilled to have him on the show today. He's an educator, a coach. In fact, you've been a coach to many people that you and I both know. And he had started, he and his wife Bertha started a tournament, we've been talking about that, that's played during spring break by the high schoolers in Hillsborough County, because it's a lot of high schools that participate. And it was just such a wonderful reason you started the tournament, I think. I mean, it's, and we are Tampa is a town that has spring training, for all the Major League Baseball teams. We have a lot of teams that still do and used to do spring training here.
Yeah, the Reds trained here for 50 years. And when Governor Martinez was mayor, we had a dinner for the Reds officials, thanking them for being here for 50 years.
Mm-hmm.
So Tampa and Ybor City is a baseball town. Mr. Al Lopez, Mr. Baseball, a true legend, Hall of Famer, started it all. And we all thought we could do what he did. We didn't make it like he did, but we're so proud of him. And he's very inspirational to all of us.
Well, you're a Tampaño. This is your town, right?
Ybor City,
Mm-hmm.
Tampa, yes. And
Now, did your parents come here, Tony? Is that?
my parents were here. My grandparents from Sicily,
Okay, that's what I wanted to ask you about where your family was originally hailed from.
and we made a trip to Sicily, and it was very emotional for me.
I bet.
And my mom and dad supported me all through schooling and the little ball that I played. Of course, I wanted to be the smallest player in the major leagues ever. And one of the owners of a major league team put in a midget as a prank, and that blew my bubble. I could never be the smallest player in the major league.
Oh.
So I never made it to the major leagues, and I have no regrets playing high school and semi-pro ball.
Well, I'm not saying that a career in Major League Baseball is not a big deal. I mean, it is, let's face it. But I think what you've done here has affected so many more lives in a direct way than maybe being a Major League Baseball player would have. If you had been that, you may not have touched so many lives. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I'm writing a book, not for publication, but for my family, and the title of the book is going to be Life is a Bunt, a Sacrifice Bunt. If you know baseball, you give yourself up for the runners to advance, and I relate it to life. I like to give up, let the kids advance. And that my career was based on that, 57 years of it.
Yeah.
I just received a note from a young man that came to me and talked to me. His aspiration was to be in athletics, not so much as a player, but administratively.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he ended up at Stanford University as assistant athletic director and thanked me for all I did for him.
Mm-hmm.
I answered him back and said, I may have advised you and encouraged you, but you're the one that went for the interviews, and your work ethic and your job performance, you did it, not me.
Yeah,
well, that made me feel good.
Yeah. You should feel good because, Tony, you and I both know that in life, many times it's one special person or two special people or someone that stepped into your life at just the right time and said just the right thing or helped you in just the right way that set you on your path.
Our tournament goal through the years has been making memories, making friends, and making caring and responsible citizens one inning at a time. Every year, that's our goal. And we mean that. Of course, we love these major leaguers and college players, but the ones that never make it, they have a family, they go to work, and we want them all to advance.
I love that. That's a great sentiment. So, as you look back on your educator coaching days, your physical ed career, teaching career. What would you say is the biggest lesson that you learned from all of that?
Back in the early days, in the 50s when I started, the kids were great. They listened. They were fearful of their parents, law enforcement. And I look back, and today is entirely different, and as I see it, in the school system. They respected me, sir, coach, and it was getting pretty bad when I was getting ready to retire. And that's the change that I see in education. And the kids were as good for me as I was for them.
Right.
I learned a lot. I loved them all. I keyed on the shyest, smallest kid in class. If I could advance him, I would advance everybody, him or her. So
so you coach girls too?
Yes, we had girls.
Okay, good. I wasn't sure about that, so I wanted to ask you.
First grade through sixth grade in the old days. And a lot of things changed through the years, but that's when I started. And I just gave all I had to the kids, and it inspired me. Those are another memories I have, the educational memories. And to see them advance. I mean, one turned out to be a pro golfer, one pro footballer, but that wasn't what I was there for. Just back to the goal, become a caring and responsible citizen. That's what I was after. Yeah,
but in doing that, you also enabled individuals to realize their personal dreams, their personal goals. You know, I know you don't make it to the major leagues of any sport without a lot of hard work and determination and sacrifice.
Well, I meant that to begin with. You know, if they became caring and responsible citizens, especially as I got older, I wanted them to take care of me. So I thought about that too, but the memories that I have with the kids is never to be forgotten.
And that's the same advice you would offer today to kids in school, you know, especially grade school? Because you taught mostly grade school kids, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I used to stress listening, follow directions, and maximum effort to every kid that I ever touched. I used to say a joke and kids would laugh, and some kids would say, "What did he say?" If you would have been listening, you would have heard it and you would have been laughing. So I stress listening, following directions in all of my career. So it worked for me.
So you have done a lot of things, I know, because you've met with a lot of famous people. I mean, people from Major League Baseball, you know, have been in touch with you. You've had articles written about you. You've had a film, I think. You know, so you've had a lot of wonderful things happen because of your dedication and your perseverance in all these years, with the tournament and with everything that you did. I mean, you should really be proud of yourself.
I am proud, very proud, and I have a great family that's supportive, especially since I lost my wife.
Yeah.
But I'm not done. I'm still trying to do these things on my limited scale.
Yeah.
And it's just been a wonderful run for me.
I'm so happy to hear that, because not everybody can say that.
And meeting an amazing woman like you didn't hurt.
Well, it didn't hurt me either to meet a legend. Because all I heard about from all my friends was, Tony, you don't know Tony Saladino? Have you met Tony Saladino? And then finally, we met at, well, we're going to go back again to Danny Alvarez, because I swear to God, that guy brings so many people together.
Yeah.
We were invited to shoot a campaign ad for Danny Alvarez, and you were invited and I was invited, and that's where we met, right? Remember that?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's another memory.
Yeah. We had a great conversation, and after that we said, well, gosh,
Well,
we want to get to know each other better.
A lot of my students used to tell me, Coach, you're a celebrity. All the pictures in the paper and stuff through my career. And I'd tell them, if I was a celebrity, would I be here talking to you right now? I'd be out making more money somewhere else. But it made me feel good. But I don't look at myself as legend or celebrity.
I know you
Just
don't.
doing what I love.
I know you don't. And we talk about this all the time. We go back and forth about this because I'm always calling you the legend, and you're like, but you know what? I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. You can be a legend, and you can be a celebrity, and you can be beloved by many. It's good.
Well, I had a long talk with my son about that one day when we were alone, and rarely are we alone. Son, a lot of people think I'm a legend and icon and this, and I said, I don't feel it. He said, but Dad, some of them do. I said, I realize that part, but I want you to know that I don't feel it. I'm just doing what I love.
I know you're a very humble man, Tony. I know that
I
for
loved
sure.
kids and loved baseball all my career, and that's the way it is.
Well, we are out of time. I can't believe it. I mean, I could sit and talk to you for hours, you know that, and we have done that. But we're out of time for this edition of Connecting with Kim. So I want to thank my guest, my very, very special guest, Tony Saladino, for joining me today. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, it was an honor. So that's all we have time for today. I want you to concentrate on living your best life in our corner of paradise. I want you to take advice from Tony, which is listen, follow directions,
Try your best.
and try your best. Try your utmost at everything that you do, because it does make a difference. And you never know when one little small action that you take or one interaction that you have with another individual, particularly a young person, a child, will make a huge difference in their life. So be kind. Come back next week when we have another edition of Connecting with Kim for you. Thank you. Bye-bye.